Well, the GTA 6 trailer 2 is in the wild, and the hottest debate about it was any of that actual gameplay. We were just looking at cinematics, in-game sort of quick-time events, or cutscenes. Oftentimes, when we look at gameplay trailers like this, or reveal trailers, or announcement trailers, that's a common debate. Well, it was captured. It was in-engine. Rockstar took to Twitter to say it is equal parts cutscenes and gameplay. So what I wanted to do is just kind of look at this trailer with you and give some of my own thoughts about what could be gameplay and what could not. Games like this often have transition moments where you press a button and you don't have control and the character might do something. There could be some sequences in here that fits that bill. There's also sort of the cinematic camera that they use when you are in a boat or in a car, and that could be happening as well. If you like these very quick updates or breakdown videos, be sure to hit like and subscribe at any point in this video. So let's just quickly get into it. Okay, so obviously scenes like this where the camera is actively moving and like following a character who's talking, I don't think any of this is gameplay. However, I think one of the earliest shots here that could be gameplay is the transition into the house. And the thing to notice here is it does seem to be sort of like a moment of like he's initiated going into the house. From the side here, no. One of the things I pointed out a lot in this is the level of fidelity and lighting on the characters themselves. Driving, I think this could be as well. The working out, somebody said, yeah, you could walk up, press a button, and he would start working out. This walking out of the store could be. Driving past here with this camera, maybe, maybe not. You know, these sort of sequences where you're going in and talking to people, this could be an initiated sequence where you go up, press a button, talk to the police officer, and then you just sort of watch as it plays out. A lot of these sequences don't seem to be like the player is in control, though. It's almost as if you're just sort of watching, maybe like a stationary camera, for example, here, where they're having a bit of a tussle in the bed. Sequences like this where they're interacting with NPCs and they're in a shootout, clinking glasses. I don't think any of this is gameplay. This would be something that you just sort of sit and watch and wait. And now when they're inside and they're talking to people, some of these sequences, I again think these are going to be sequences that you go in and maybe you press a button and then it sort of sends you into a series of cutscenes and elements of like, okay, you're just going to kind of watch this scene play out. You know, escaping here, climbing down. These again could be transition segments where it's in engine and quote unquote, if they're calling that gameplay, like her fighting. There's one scene coming up where like that explosion with the car, right? Are we watching a sequence play out where you're in control and then the explosion happens and it's sort of bouncing in between? Driving around, panning around, these sort of, sequences like the beer bottle here. I don't think that's gameplay. There's too much detail, too many finite things. Him being on the couch, somebody pointed out, that could be something that you initiate. You press the button, camera goes stationary, and then she comes in. They could be counting that as gameplay. I don't know. I don't know if in their mind that is gameplay. These driving sequences could be gameplay where you're following, you're chasing, whatever, and then it switches to a transition of a person jumping on. But they did say equal parts. So what that means is roughly 1 minute, minute to 15 of that trailer is gameplay, while the rest is either some kind of a cutscene or some kind of a cinematic. I've continued to say what they're showing us is likely a 30 FPS game unless they let us turn off a lot of that lighting. There's shadows, there's reflections, there's clearly a whole lot of great ray tracing going on. We know the cost of that technology, and it typically takes a game down to 30 FPS. If they offer us a performance mode where that stuff gets turned off, I'll be very excited about that because I don't want to play a 30 FPS game. So I want to know what you think. Did I miss anything? Is there anything in here that you thought, no, that's gameplay? That was definitely something you're going to be able to do into the game. Let me know in the comments below. As always, be sure to hit like, share, and subscribe so I can see you in the next video.